Schools should be serving all types of kids, not just kids who are college bound.
Well, overcrowding impacts the learning environment because I, as a teacher, have less time to spend with each individual student. So students aren't as able to ask questions, they aren't able to grab me as I'm walking around as easily, and it ends up being the kids that are a little bit more shy that end up suffering because they just kind of fall into the background.
Having the space to kind of move around in lab situations like this, there's the safety concern as well. So having ample space when students have knives or are working at the stove, that's an added bonus.
I have the opportunity to work with some of the kids that don't always fit in. And this place is very full, and there isn't a lot of space for them to just find a quiet corner to decompress or recenter if they're having a bad day. I want to see more spaces in our schools that work for the mental health of students so that every student has exactly what they need to be their whole selves in our school system.
Outside of schools, businesses, corporations, hospitals are finding ways to use space more flexible. And our schools should model what the real world is going to become. And so we need spaces in our schools that allow us to use them one way for one set of kids and another way for another set of kids.
We are already behind the times with as fast as technology moves and things change and upgrades happen. I think upgrades to the room, the space, providing environments where students are comfortable. Maybe it's adjusting lighting, it's adjusting the sound, giving them more choice and opportunity for how they can do their work. I think that benefits the whole student.
As a science teacher, I want to set up a lab, have my students be able to do the experiment, come back the next day and continue working on it. But with shared spaces, we have challenges with that because another teacher needs to come in, set up their own lab. So we're spending a lot of time outside of time we're paid for to set up, move, share equipment and facilities.
Career and technical education classes really focus on 21st century skills. Those are job skills, they're life skills, and that goes far beyond the traditional classroom. It's more than just cooking in a kitchen or any of the other CTE classes that we offer here.
Increasing the kinds of classes that allow students to really get a hands-on experience would expose them to many more career possibilities. So it's not the same doctor, lawyer, politician, engineer. It would allow them to really explore their options, which a student could still end up as a doctor, lawyer, politician, engineer, but they would have a much better idea of what there was really out there. And so they would be able to choose more confidently.
They're getting skills that they will take with them in the work world, in college, and kind of hopefully follow them throughout their life.
I actually talked to someone in Gibson Neck recently, and they told me how their schedules are set up, and she specialized in child education, so she goes to a daycare to help work. So now she's prepared when she leaves. She might still have to get certifications, but she's now has this experience that will make her feel more confident in this job she wants to pursue, instead of being at a school that's so STEM focused that they can't escape that pressure.
I am a big proponent of anything hands-on, anything that gets students up and moving. I think the hands-on, the moving around, that ability to be on their feet and think on their feet, not only is that good for their brain, but it gives them a break in their day. They're not sitting as much. I think internships and certificates, work experience in the high school classroom is really beneficial for our students because they are going to enter the workforce. A lot of them in high school, in fact. So anything we can do to boost their resume, to give them more opportunities and help them as they start to navigate that work world, I think it's just the only way to go.
So we should be offering a variety of classes, including those that focus on career pathways, because it really benefits all of our students, those that are college bound or otherwise. So I teach astronomy, and I wrote this class for my career-bound kiddos. It's based off of what it's like to be an astronomer in real life, But I end up having a mixture of kids. Those that are going to college, it looks really cool on their application. And those that have been struggling in science, it makes it easier for them to get across the finish line and on to whatever life holds for them next.
I've had some experiences with students in my class in the past that some of them weren't as successful in other classroom settings, in other maybe core content. They struggled a little bit. They found their thing. They were able to be successful in my class, and it might have just started from making a batch of cookies or a pot of soup, but they did it start to finish. They were successful in that, and it was a game changer for them and how they navigated the rest of that high school career.
As the community is considering this bond measure, I think it's really important to look at how focused on equity and access the bond is. The bond committee was put together to make sure that the needs of our students were put first and what we're really missing in our school community. This bond is designed to try to increase the access that all of our students have, the equity of resources being distributed to our students so that every student has the opportunity to thrive in our schools.